Dean Cundey, the cameraman of all time, right here.
All right, guys, I just want...
What?
They said fucking John and Dean is what they said.
Thank you very much.
But speaking of you two, could you talk a little bit of how you guys met originally and how you ended up starting working together?
Yeah. Well, Deborah Hill was going to be producing Halloween. She said she knew a cameraman who was really talented. So she introduced us.
And he wasn't available?
That's right. So we went to Chinatown together in a movie theater and watched it and admired it. And boy, that was back. I didn't even do rehearsals back then in the beginning, Dean.
Oh, I know.
You were pissed off at that.
Well, I just acted that way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I remember Deborah said, I'd like you to meet this director. And I think he's got a lot of potential.
That's it.
Yeah. And so I said, oh, that's great. And I remember we watched a movie at your place on your, you had this, it was 3/4 inch machine or some kind of.
3/4 inch videotape machine.
Yeah. And it was the one, well, it became the Thing. It was the Hawks version.
Oh yeah, the Thing from Another World, yeah.
Yeah. And it was that, which is sort of one of those fortuitous weird things that you happen to like that movie. And I said, oh, I can see why. And then years later.
We did one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But that's how we met. And we made Halloween, and then we made The Fall, and then we made The Thing together, and I mean, we just worked a lot together.
Yeah.
Oh, Escape from New York, I forgot that.
Yeah, Little Trouble in Big China, what was that called?
That's right. What'd you guys think of Big Trouble?
That was a really fun movie to do, because it was so different, zany.
Yeah.
There was no guys with knives. Well, there were a couple, but and to me it was also fun because it was a big studio, 20th Century Fox.
That's right.
And we had always been working independent, and you went to real locations, and so it was really fun to work at a major studio that was different. I think we'd done Universal, but Fox was really old Hollywood.
Big time.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun to sort of, I don't know, dabble in that.
And a lot, the street where it all takes place is in the back lawn. I mean, is on the soundstage.
Yeah.
And you lit that baby. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
And that was kind of the advantage of a big studio, is that you could hang a big silk over top of it.
Sure.
And light it with a bunch of lights and all of the stuff that wasn't available when we were doing Halloween.
Yeah.
Did we have 5 lights?
I think so.
I was gonna say, can you talk about how your working relationship evolved over the course of these films? Did you guys develop a shorthand? Did you have reference other movies to each other just to kind of know where you were going with things?
It was pretty straightforward, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, we start with, finally, we started with rehearsals. I'd rehearse the actors and Dean would watch and then make suggestions or not, and then come up with what we wanted to shoot, where, when, what lens. I love Panavision, 35 millimeter. I just can't think of anything that looks better than that. Now, maybe now there's something better, but I love that format and everything about it.
Oh yeah. No, it was such a distinctive wide screen with which allowed for well, shots in Halloween that you couldn't have done otherwise, but
That's
sort
true.
of lurking room,
Yeah.
lurking room in the sides.
Now for Big Trouble, like, what was kind of your influences on this one? Were you watching any of the Hong Kong stuff that was coming out at the time, or anything like that?
Yeah, big time. And there's one Hong Kong movie, The Warriors of Mystic.
Zoo Warriors Magic Mountain?
Yeah, I love that movie. And it kind of influenced me. There was also I think it was Taiwanese, Blades of Death, I'm not sure. Anyway, I showed it to everybody. The cuts were like, I don't know how many frames long. It was just so fast and blasting. And I wanted the sword fight to be in the air to be like that. But, we lost Rain. Rain has passed away.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the fights were interesting because at first, you know, you'd gotten all of these Asian Chinese stunt folks and fighters and warriors, and the question was how to make it look exactly like those great Chinese fights and stuff. And then the stunt guys, I remember the stunt guys, the U.S. guys, said, well, that's dangerous. Hey, we can't do that. We need safety wires, we need mattresses, we need, you know. So all the fight stuff came down, but it was still elevated, you know, because we were always struggling to get some interesting stuff. And, but it was really fascinating to see what the Chinese stunt guys wanted to do, and then and then how we ended up.
I asked one of our stunt coordinators, who was Chinese, how they did that in a certain movie. I believe it was Blades of Death. I'm not sure, Blades of Fury. And he said, well, you'll do better. I said, well, no, come on now, tell me how they did that, man. And anyway, finally, he said, well, we used ropes. So they put the guys on ropes and pulled, up they go. That was their technique. And well, we got something a little better than that.
There's lots of stunning visual effects in here. Like, I guess between you directing and shooting, Richard Edlund, who worked for Industrial Light and Magic, I can think of it, but like he worked for you had Steve Johnson doing effects. Could you talk about just working on a big, you know, doing a martial arts like fight movie with lots of crazy special effects?
Yeah. Well, you're right. That's what it was.
That's it.
What do you want me to say? It's Richard Edlund was he at one point he said, I'm going to go hunting with John Milius. I'm going to leave the set. I go, wait a minute, we're not done yet. No, he said, this is absolute. I must go. Off he went. Wow. There was one sequence he had to redo. It just wasn't very good. Although now, when I look at it, the cartoonish kind of zany nature of the movie kind of hid the sins of the rubber. Yeah, the thunder exploding was like, oh, come on now. Come on, guys, we can do better than that, but it's okay now. It's okay.
I was going to ask you both, working with Kurt Russell, because he was a collaborator on The Thing, Escape from New York, and like, can you guys talk about your experience just working with Kurt, not only on Big Trouble, but just through all the films you did with him?
He's one of the easiest actors to work with that I've been around. I don't know. He and I bonded really heavily on Elvis, the first thing we did together, this TV movie. And I think Kurt is one of the great actors that's kind of underappreciated. I don't think people see him because they don't see him as that deep or able to do things, but I can see him. And anyway, we've been friends for years.
Yeah, I was always impressed that Kurt could do a character, and he would draw on somebody, but the character stayed consistent throughout the performance, you know. And then the next movie, it was a different character, and it would be consistent. So it was very impressive what he could do, and it was like you said, he never became a big giant star, yet he was a really good
Exactly. And underappreciated, that's what I think, anyway.
I mean, I think because he plays kind of sort of inept John Wayne type character, lets Dennis Dunn be the star of this, really.
Blowhard, yeah.
Could you talk a little bit more about the other casting? Because this has a really great cast. You have Kim Cattrall, Dennis Dunn, Victor Wong, James Hong. Like, it's such a great, solid cast.
Yeah, yes we do. I mean, there are frankly not a lot of really good Asian actors available. There weren't at the time. So I think we got the cream of the crop. And we found this beautiful, I think she was a model, I'm not sure. Susie Pie was, oh my God. And she wore the green contact lenses. She was the love interest. But, I mean, yeah, they're great. I became close friends with the Asians. And we did another movie together. Dean was too big time then. I couldn't afford him. But it was the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, I remember the great cast. I was just watching a little sequence here, and the repartee and the humor that came out of it was just, fascinating, because they all knew what they were doing. They were playing these characters and with a little tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff. So it was fun working with them and watching and laughing.
You know, Kate Burton was in our movie.
Really?
Yeah, Kate Burton was Richard Burton's daughter. And she was the reporter, the Disney reporter.
That's right.
She was terrific.
Yeah, she was.
Went on to have a really good career. So, anyway.
It's all fun. It's I was going to ask you, between the two of you, do you guys have a favorite film of yours that you worked on together?
Oh, that's a tough one, because they all had certain, I don't know, qualities, merits, things,
What he said, yeah.
Yeah, you look at Halloween and say, well, yeah, it was a low budget movie, but it had the style, and it was ahead of its time, and yet, well, Escape from New York had
Boy, I'll say.
style.
What you guys did with the lighting, the St. Louis stuff was unbelievable.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that what was interesting is that I can't remember the company, but they said we have these new lights, the HMIs, and they put out more light, but they were an interesting color of blue, and so we said, oh, okay, that sounds good, and said, well, yeah, you can use these.
Here you go.
Yeah, and then then Panavision had these lenses that were faster. You needed less light to get an exposure. And so combining these bigger lights with these fast lenses gave us this extra tool in our toolkit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we took advantage of that. And plus, I'd always enjoyed light that flickered like a fire. And so I worked with my neighbor 2 houses away, who was an electronic engineer, and we built these flicker boxes, electronic digital things that would flicker a light, and it created a better fire thing than guys who just did dimmers.
Fire thing, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was a combination of that technology and such a great palette, and the what's the director guy? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a fascinating combination of elements that.
What cast there was?
Oh, yeah.
Board Night,
Oh,
Donald
yeah.
Pleasance.
Exactly.
That was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's an example of when all of this stuff comes together.
Yeah, it works.
You know, instead of just having like one thing, an actor
I agree.
or a location or something, all of it worked, and it was challenging but rewarding.
Well said. Speaking of challenging, I've always wanted to challenge you to something. You know, back in the 50s and before, directors of photography didn't have light meters. They didn't use them. They did it by eyeball. And light meters came along, and all of these DPs got lazy. Let me read the light here and see, oh, there, yeah. I was going to challenge you to do a movie without that damn meter of yours.
Well, I actually don't use one anymore.
Really?
Because, yeah, because, you know, the monitors on set show you the image. So you don't even have to take the meter out and walk around. You can sit in a chair looking at the monitor and say, make that darker.
Stuff has changed over the years, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
But I would say like a lot of filmmakers owe their careers like just for the variety of how different the work is you guys did between like Halloween's different from The Fog, as The Fog is different from Escape from New York, from The Thing, The Big Trouble in Little China. Like when you think back of like your body of work and how many filmmakers owe you royalty checks at this point, like what do you think of your body of work together?
I like it. He was the best cameraman I've ever worked with.
That's one of the things I look back on is your visual style, perception, but also the fact that we had the opportunity to do different things. It wasn't always a guy with a knife, you know. It moved on to another,
Yeah.
and then look at the one tonight. I don't think there were any guys with knives.
Well, not really.
Yeah. You know, so there was so much variety and so much challenge each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
One thing I want to ask you about, John, is the score for this movie. It's going to be a two-part one. Your score is incredible for this movie. Can you just talk about kind of your process of like, you know, when you approach doing a score for a movie? Like, you're doing it after you've done shooting, correct?
Right. After the last thought is, okay, this thing needs music. What are we gonna do? So, yeah. I mean, the main title was. He was a trucker, so he kind of ripped off ZZ Top, who I guess got paid today. Same beat, same everything. I mean, it's just give me a synthesizer and give me somebody to help me program, and I'm all set to go. That's all it is, and it just takes time.
Now, we have to talk about the main title that you did with the Coupe de Villes. Can you talk about doing the Big Trouble in Little China theme?
What's that?
Can you talk about doing that main theme with the Coupe de Villes?
Well, we talked the studio into giving us $50,000 to do a music video.
Nice.
So, it was quite an experience. But anyway, we shot in this little studio over here, and the result is history. I don't know how many times they got shown, but you know.
Could you talk about who else is in the band with you?
Yeah, this is a band of directors. Tommy Lee Wallace is in the band. He directed Halloween 3, you might know that one.
Yeah.
And Nick Castle is in the band. He not only is he Michael Myers, but he directed The Last Starfighter, one of the first visual That's good. We've been singing together since college. That's what happened there. But anyway, we did the music, recorded it, put it in the movie. That's it.
All right, before I open up the audience questions, I want to give you a chance. You've got some concerts coming up in October. Do you want to give a quick plug for that?
We're going to do a residency here in LA and downtown at the Blasio Theater, I think. And get your tickets. Come down and see us. Come down and see us. I think Dean's going to come down and look.
Oh, yeah, would be.
All right, let's do some audience questions here. Let's see. I see a gentleman right there.
Hi there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful film. It's probably the 10th time I've seen it. But one thing I've always been curious about is Richard Edwards' wonderful creatures that kind of come out of nowhere and then vanish back into nowhere.
Yeah. That guy, yeah.
And I've just always been curious, we don't get a lot of detail about them or what they are or where they, how they figure into it. Is there more to those creatures that was like in the script or thought about that we didn't see?
Well, the primary one is the guy who comes out of the wall, the wild man, and grabs Kim Cattrall and drags her away. And some of that was done by, oh God, what was his name?
With a screaming man, George?
No. What's that? No. No. God, he started doing the effects for Predator. But the first Predator, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of it. They had fired him because it looked ridiculous. It was this bug head, and it wasn't what you see now. Anyway, he did the suit, and maybe I can say this. Maybe it's not the right thing to say. He did this suit with the help of illegal substances. A lot of those guys used illegal substances in their work.
Yeah, fortunately, all that stuff has disappeared. Nobody uses it anymore.
That's right. I think you've noticed here that Dean is one of the most cynical human beings on the planet. It's always been that way. And he's great on the set. I mean, he's just great. Anyway.
All right.
And then we had that little thing that had a bunch of eyeballs or something. I can't remember. Yeah.
All right, next question. Right there.
Mr. Carpenter, something that is super cool about you is that you maintain your creativity for this long record.
I'm sorry, excuse me, what? I maintain my shape? Did you say?
She's saying you're
God, I'm putting on weight like crazy. Okay, everybody quiet. I want to hear her now.
What I would say is that some people stagnate in their creativity and stagnate in their flow. But something that is very admirable about you is that you keep creating and keep making and with your music and with your work. And how do you do it? How do you avoid creative burnout? And what do you draw on to keep music?
Well, I did burn out once. I quit. And I had to recover because I had worked to. I don't know how you did it. I really don't. All the movies you made. I mean, I burned out when making that many movies. And do you have a hint for me?
Well, most of the help I got is illegal.
No.
No, actually, I have to say, you know what? In college, at UCLA Film School, smoking those things was, I never used them. I never drank. I never used artificial stuff, and I think I'm thoughtful and thankful for that because I've talked to so many people who say, yeah, man, I probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah. But it's one of those things that you know, I think my artificial stuff is just creating and continuing to do stuff. And,
See, now that's part of your answer to your question is that the love of my life is cinema. Okay, it's I don't need anything else except going on a set to get high. Okay, and I grew up in a my father was a musician, and he turned to me once when I was really young and he said, no matter what, just create. No matter what it is, write, music, whatever, paint, create something. So I grew up with that. So I have a drive. And all this stuff just comes out. It comes out from everything I've seen and heard. And it comes out from a great parent. And I'm a blessed guy in that sense.
yeah, I'd have to concur because my childhood, my parents did the same thing. They encouraged me to be creative, and even though my father had a kind of a regular job as a salesman, he was very much part of encouraging me to just follow my dream, and I think that's something because when you do that, everything you do comes out from you, as opposed to someone telling you,
Yep.
fill out these forms and they gotta be in by tomorrow morning, you know?
Yeah. Also, he and I share the fact that there was a seminal movie in our past. That we saw a movie and it inspired us to become cameraman and a director. For me, it was Forbidden Planet. For him, it was The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad.
Mm. And Forbidden Planet was also.
Really? You like that?
Yep. No, there was, and that was one of those things that my mother used to take myself and my two friends next door Saturday mornings to the matinee.
Ooh, yeah.
And she would drop us off in the theater and she would go do some shopping. Back then, when it was not irresponsible to leave your kid alone. And for some reason it was safer because
It's always been safer back then.
yeah, I survived. But the fact that I went to every week to see movies, and sometimes they
That's
were
it.
Disney, you know, re-releases and 20 cartoons, and sometimes they were science fiction, and I had all of this inspiration that I said, well, that's something that looks to me like it would be a lot of fun to do.
And he's in UCLA, and one of his teachers, get this, is James Wong Howe. Now, maybe you don't know who he is, but a great family.
He's one of the greatest cinematographers ever lived. He did Seconds and
Yeah, he won 2 Academy Awards and did a lot of films in the, I don't know, 40s, 50s. And he taught a class, but taught us how to actually work on a set as opposed to the theory of, you know, a triangle draws your eye to the point or any of that other stuff. He said, no, you put the light over there.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know.
A triangle draws an eye to the point? I didn't know that.
That's a secret they use in advertising.
That's a great question, young lady. Thank you.
All right, we got time for one more. Let's see, I'm gonna go over to this side. The guy with the white hat.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could tell us more about your experience working with James Hong on the film.
James Hong, yeah, the famous one. James was an amazing human being. He got his start. He entertained the troops in, I think it was Korea. He did Amos and Andy. He was in blackface. He was, just a legendary actor. And but I have never seen another human being with an ego that size. Huge. But he did great. He played he played Lopan, and he put this makeup on, and he was great. I love James.
With that said, I think we've learned one thing today.
All right.
Give it up for John Carpenter and Gene Cundey, everyone. And remember,
Thank you very much.
the only cinema is the only drug you need.